Mukenda mbola kola ebunyolo.
Mukenda mbola
Kola ebunyolo.
kola ebunyolo.
That means that he who goes slowly and keen will reach far. Na ndakambila kako na humwendo konjoli.
Na ndakambila
kako na humwendo kwenjoli.
kako na humwendo
kwenjoli.
Yes.
That one, it means that if you are advised,
Yes.
and you cannot follow the advice, at the end, you will end up in a problem. Muriena basahulu. If there are ladies who say, Muriena ba mai, and then they will respond, Efwebalamu, before joining them. Yes. That one, you greet them maybe 3 to 4 meters away from them. You cannot just go and stand at their back and then you tell them, Murie. That is disrespectful.
Hello and welcome to Know My Language. This is an enticing, interesting show that you must watch. I'm yours truly, David Mwambu, and today's show we are going to discuss the Bukusu language, the different kind of settings that whenever you are in the land of the Bukusu people, you can know how to present yourself. For example, when you are going to a Bukusu homestead, when you are going to the marketplace around the Bukusu people, when you are going around the church when you are in the Bukusu land, how do you present yourself? Which kind of diction do you use to communicate, at least in a basic way, so that you can be understood and pass a message and be welcomed? So to start us off, let's do the introduction. And today on our show we have one old man who is going to dig deep, explain to us how you do this thing. So Mzee, welcome, and who are you? Introduce yourself kindly.
Thank you. My names are Daniel Matimbai Murunga.
Yes.
I'm a resident of Bungoma Central.
Yes.
In Bungoma County.
Yes.
And actually I'm a typical Bukusu.
Thank you so much. You being a Bukusu, you know, when somebody is new in the Bukusu land, for example, in Kenya we have so many languages, and I believe these languages make us unique and they make us really special. So for example, if somebody out there is new, amekuja Western, he or she has come to the Western people, the Bukusu people, and they enter a Bukusu homestead, how should they do it when they want to ask something, or when they want to be welcome in the home? What kind of language should they use?
Thank you very much. We Bukusus, we are the people maintaining culture and respect.
Yes.
And according to Bukusu,
Yes.
when you enter in a homestead, maybe you are a stranger.
Yes.
Or even if you are not a stranger, maybe you are known. But first of all, when you enter, before even entering the homestead,
Yes.
we have got 2 ways. One, during daytime, maybe the gate is open and you automatically reach the house. When you reach the house, first of all, you cough in the way I'm doing, and whoever is in the house will be able to hear. And before even answering, you first say, Munju muno murie. That is to say, how are you in this home?
Munju muno murie.
Munju muno murie.
Yes, yes.
And you will automatically have a response. They will say, Kulibalamu, we are okay. And automatically whoever is in the house will emerge out and say, welcome.
Yes, yes.
When you are welcomed,
Yes.
they will say, Karibu Munju, welcome in the house.
Yes.
And then don't automatically rush in the house, but you will follow him. He will be at the front, and then you follow, you go after him.
Yes, yes.
On arrival in the house,
Yes.
you don't have to sit automatic. You remain to be shown. You remain standing, and you will be shown, Karibu mwana wase. Kama ni mama atakwambia karibu mwana wase, welcome my son. If it is an old man, he will say also welcome my son. And then automatically we have got two ways how you can conduct your sitting in such a strange house. You don't have to sit at the door. If there are more seats, you count 1, 2, you can sit on the third seat.
So you don't, when you enter the house, you don't sit on the chair that is nearest the door.
Yes.
You move at least some chairs away, you sit like on the third kind of seat.
Yes.
And why is this the case?
The reason why, because you are a stranger, and maybe a person, anybody can come, maybe outside there is having a problem with the owners of the home, and then they attack you. So already when you move a few steps and sit to the third seat, you will be safe.
Very interesting. Yes. So for example, now when you are in the homestead, in the house, you say you want to ask for something. Say you want to ask for someone in that house. Well, I have come to see person A, B, C. How do you say it in Lubukusu?
Yes, in Lubukusu, after sitting, you will get, first of all, you observe the owner of the home before making, maybe asking whoever you want. First of all, he will open up and say, mwana wase, yani my son, how can I help you? And then you will tell him, papa ama mama, mai namwe papa, nenyile kubona nanjala. That means that mother or papa, I wanted to see nanjala. So you will say, nenyile kubona nanjala, I want to see nanjala.
Yes.
And then you will wait for a response from whoever you have asked that question.
Yes. Now, when you have conducted the business that brought you to that homestead, and now you want to leave, how now do you leave?
Thank you. You will say, asante sana mai, or asante sana papa. That will mean that thank you very much, papa, or then thank you very much, mama.
Yes.
And you beg that I beg to leave.
Yes.
You cannot stand up and just march out. You will say, I beg to leave. And then you will be given permission.
Yes. How do you say now, I beg to leave in Lubukusu?
In Lubukusu, when you say, I beg to leave, you say, papa, namwe mai, saba dekuhe. That one, omeomba kuondoka. So you have to address him, papa or mama, because it's not your age. Yes. That one is maybe an elderly woman or an elderly man. Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, dear viewer, before we continue any further, let me remind you to subscribe, watch, like, and comment down there. Also, so for us to improve on our show, so that we can keep it more interesting, more knowledgeable. Now, Papa Morunga, going on. Another scenario when you are in the Bukusu land, maybe when you come across the old people, the wazee or the old women in society, or whatever kind of setting they are in. How do you approach that kind of people, and how do you speak to them?
That's good. First of all, when you meet all your sis or all the mamas, maybe they are seated somewhere. First of all, greeting is always very important. You will greet them before reaching them. You will say, Muriena basahulu. If they are ladies, you say, Muriena bamai. And then they will respond, Efwebalamu. Before joining them. That one you greet them maybe 3 to 4 meters away from them. You cannot just go and stand at their back and then you tell them Murie. That is disrespectful. Yes. And actually in our culture, a Bukusu, if you give him food, delicious food, without greetings, he will not eat. Greeting is always taken as very important thing. It's very vital. Yes.
One of the most important.
Most important thing. Yes.
Sawa sawa. So when you have made this, you have greeted the wazee.
Yes.
They have welcomed you, allowed you to approach them, and now you want to pass a message. For example, you want to say, I've been sent by so and so to come and say this. How do you say such a thing?
You will say, my namwe papa. Saba musama ndihone ndelihua nenyire humubolela. That means that Papa or Mama, I have got something to tell you. And then you will wait for their response. You cannot just tell them and then you start passing the message. You will wait for them to respond, tell us or not.
So you say, Papa, amwe Papa, saba kumusama dinende
Lihua.
lihua.
Nenya mubolele.
Nenya mubolele.
Yes.
That is nice. Yes. Moving on to another scenario that maybe a guest comes or a stranger, when you are in the marketplace, for example.
Yes.
In a Bukusu marketplace, say you are in Chwele market,
Yes.
you are in Kamukuya market,
Yes.
or even Mayanja Bitungu.
Yes.
Yes. How do you, what kind of words do you use to get to buy, say buy nyanya or tomatoes or onions?
Oh yes, as I said first, greeting is very important. When you approach your mama is selling vitungu, tomatoes or so forth, first of all greet her. If he's an old man, greet him. It does not mean that you have to shake him, but you greet, you pass a word to them, Oriena mai, Oriena papa. Then she will respond. After responding, and at a marketplace, those people who sell goods at the market, they are always very sensitive. They automatically, he or she will be the first to ask you, Papa, huyeta and yena. So, son, how can I help you? If you are a daughter, what can I do for you? You will tell her that, Mama, I wanted to buy onions or tomatoes.
So how do you say, I want to buy onions or I want to buy tomatoes in Lubukusu?
In Lubukusu, you will tell her, my or papa, nenya hukula vitungu. Ama my nenya hukula chinyanya.
Okay.
She will ask you, how much? For how much do you want? You will tell her 10 bob. And automatically she will give you the goods as you have requested. And because you have approached her nicely with respect, she can also give you what? An addition.
Yeah. So for example, when you are in doubt of the price of something,
yes.
How do you ask, how much is this say product or this item? Like for example, how much is this sukuma wiki? How do you say it in Bukusu?
Oh, you will tell her that okusia chisilingi chinga. Vitungu vinonga norere hapo, maybe it is in nini. You tell them okusia chisilingi chinga ahano. And she will automatically tell you that vino chisilingi 10, vino chisilingi 20, vino chisilingi 50. That means that for this hip, it is 10 shillings, this one 20, this one 40.
Very nice. Well, our dear viewer, as we go on, what kind of discipline or things do you observe in your language when you are going to the market, when you are going to the homestead? Please leave a comment down there and let us interact to know how similar or different are we from your language. Do you still observe greetings wherever you go like we do in the Bukusu land? Yes, please leave a comment down there and we shall interact some more. Yes, moving on, Bwana Murunga.
Yes.
Now we have tackled the homestead.
Yes.
We have tackled the old wazee.
Yes.
We have tackled the marketplace.
Yes.
Now, when you're approaching a holy place,
yes.
say a church, or a mosque,
Yes.
or a shrine,
Yes.
or a temple,
Yes.
how do you this, and what kind of words do you use? Yes. For example, to start off, how do you call God in Lubukusu?
Wele.
Wele.
Wele Hakaba.
Wele Hakaba.
Yes.
What does Wele Hakaba mean?
Well, you know, Wele Hakaba is the God or the really God. Because in the African tradition, also in Bukusu,
Yes.
we have got so many gods.
Yes.
We have got Wele Weluchi, God of the river.
Wele Weluchi.
Wele Weluchi.
Yes, God of the river.
God of the river. We have got God of our ancestors. They are, you know, in African culture, we used to have a round house. In the Kibukusu, we call it Enju around. That round house, it has got only 2 inlets. One is the main door, and another one we had a small inlet. Not a window really, but just they open up something like a hole. And that hole, Bukusu believed that God passes through that hole. And in that small house, he keeps in a ceremonial tunic. Ceremonial tunic, and that tunic is respected. It is called, we have got Ekutusi and Ekutwa. And that dress is not dressed freely by anybody. We're only the chosen ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on, so you said Wele Wehuluchi, Wele Hakaba. Wele Hakaba, you said means?
Wele Hakaba is the real God.
The real Almighty.
Almighty God, the only one.
Yes. So when you are approaching such a holy place,
yes,
how do you do it, and what, like for example, if you want to say, God bless me, how do you say?
God bless me, you say, Wele Kaninde. Kaninde. And if you are telling God to bless the other group, you say, Wele Amulinde.
Wele Amulinde.
Wele Amulinde.
God bless you.
Yes. And at the same time, when you enter in such a place like a church, like a mosque and so forth, you have to be very observant, because every church has got its own culture. Buli kanisa elinende engira yayo ngabaki handolanga. So if you are entering, for example, a Catholic church, and maybe you wanted to see, maybe a friend is there and you are in a hurry, first of all, you go and bow.
You bow.
As they do. Don't go directly and talk to your friend. Look for a place to sit. And make sure that whoever you want to see can be able to see you.
Yes.
Let the mass continue. And maybe after the mass is when you can either pick on him and then go and talk with him privately. No chamukanisa ne wingila okhola niye kanisa ekhola. Ne liho upalio patri malawacha wekhala abundu niye omundu niye wenye khubona. If it is in the mosque, you know very well that Muslims remove the shoes and then enter in the mosque. Don't interrupt with the people or the mass. You have to be patient. A church is always a respected place. Ekanisa ali abundu atakatifu, ali very holy.
Yes. Now, just to briefly, if you are in a church, how do you call the congregation? Like, for example, the people assembled in a holy place. How do you call those people in the book?
In a congregation, when we call it, Velibukana is general. But we have got a leader who conducts that libukana. That one must be addressed properly. If it is the father, Catholics, Omukulundu. Omukulundu in Bukusu, it means he is above all. Above all the people who are seated in that church.
Or the leader of that place.
Yeah, we call him Omukulundu. And in English, we call him father. Or a priest.
Okay.
So that one, even before addressing the congregation, you have to greet Omukulundu first, and then you go to Welibukana. Yes.
Very well. That is nice. Now, is there a special name for a church in Bukusu, a holy place?
Yes. A church in Bukusu, we call it Litembeli. Litembeli.
Yes.
And the Bible in Bukusu, we call it Enganga. Enganga. For example, if we want to read a word from the Bible, in Bukusu, people just fail to say that it's a Bible. No.
Yes.
In Bukusu, it is called Enganga. And the chapter, we call it Lubaso. And the what? After chapter, after the verse, those under the verse, we call it Lunyilili. Lunyilili. When you stand up, you say, I'm reading from Matthew, chapter 6, verse 8. In Kibukusu, you will say, Hendusia munganga ya Matayo, lo vaso, lo harano, lunyilili, lo munane.
Okay.
Yes.
That is very. I didn't know that also.
Yes.
That is very informative.
It is.
Thank you so much. So, moving on, we have seen where a holy place. Now we are remaining with one place, wherever you meet the young people.
The youth.
Wherever youth are congregated.
Yes.
For example, if you are a young person,
Yes.
and you go meet the fellow young people, or you are an older person,
Yes.
and you approach young people.
Yes.
How do you do it, and what kind of language, or for example, to start us off, how do you call a young person in Lubukusu?
In Lubukusu, a young person, we call him or her Omuele ama Vaele.
Omuele na Vaele.
Yes, Vaele, many. Omuele is one.
A young person.
Yes.
And the people who are of the youthful age, say to 18 and above to 35.
Yes, yes.
How do you call such a grouping?
That grouping, they are called Vaele.
I've also heard there's this word Varaka.
Varaka is also applicable. It is between Varaka mostly. It is between the age of 18 and 14, and the Vaele it is 35 to 14.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, if you are approaching such kind of people,
yes,
how do you greet them? If they are your fellow young people,
fellow young age mates, yes, isn't it? Yes. First of all, you will greet them. Muriena yaya. Yaya, the word yaya, it means age mate. They will tell you, Kulibalamu, we are all right, yes, isn't it? Yes. After greeting, yes. It will be easy because they will pay attention to you. And then we Bukusus, we like shaking hands. Yes. You will maybe shake hands, maybe you will hug each other. It depends how you know each other.
How
familiar you are to each other, isn't it? Yes. And then and you see age mates, it's all very easy to interact. Yes. It's easy to interact. But interacting is not Bukusu, lakini huingilana alala. Yes. And at times it's difficult. An old man like me. It is very hard to interact with the young men. I can just embrace them with my words, but maybe we cannot hug. But you see young men, they hug each other. And actually, as you can see, if we are going. Since you say we old men were going, but the young men, they are there still. And they have got a long journey to go.
So how do you greet young people?
Very good. In Bukusu, if an old man like me, now when I meet young men, the youths, I will tell them, Vaele Muriena. They will respond, Kulibala mu papa, we are all right, papa. In Bukusu, when you greet, you emphasize.
Oh, the person.
The person you are addressing, it's very important. And when you emphasize the person you are addressing, it shows, it carries respect. You cannot respond to say, we are all right. No, you say, we are all right, either daddy or mama. But you cannot say, we are all right. That is disrespectful.
Yes, yes.
Yo mwana ba ono mulola akosile maadili kimima. In Bukusu we say, when such a child cannot address you and emphasize, we will say that child is disrespectful to whoever he or she is addressing. And at the same time, it is the same applicable to the old ones. If the youth just tell them, Muriena bana base, if the age of your daughters or your son, Muriena bana base, how are you, my sons?
Yes, yes,
How are you, my daughters?
Yes, yes.
It is very important in our culture. And in our culture, respect is very vital.
So I get to see that respect is paramount.
Paramount. Yes.
That is very nice and interesting. So as we wrap up here at Know My Language.
Yes.
If you don't mind, which two kind of proverbs or sayings do you know in Bukusu for our dear audience that maybe you can say and their meanings?
Very good.
Yes.
Mukenda mbola kaola ebunyolo.
Mukenda mbola
kola ebunyolo.
Kola ebunyolo.
Mukenda
mbola kola ebunyolo.
That means that he who goes slowly and keen will reach far. And another one we have got, Nanda kambila kako na humwendo konjoli.
Nanda kambila
kako na humwendo kwenjoli.
Kako na humwendo
kwenjoli.
Yes.
That one, it means that if you are advised,
yes,
and you cannot follow the advice, at the end, you will end up in a problem.
Yes, yes. Nanda kambila
kako na humwendo kwenjoli.
Kako na humwendo kwenjoli.
For example, your father tells you that, son, wake up and go to school. Instead of going to school, you ignore his advice, you go and play. A friend who is told to go to school, he goes to school. Later on, he becomes somebody in the village. And then you start going back and say that, oh, I wish I knew. So that one is a warning. We have got so many. Well, like a child, when you tell him, go and look after the animals, and he does not. In Bukusu, you will tell him, ende hello mali kene hurere.
Ende hello mali
kene hurere. Because you have told him, go and look after the goats or the cattle. And he refuses, he runs away.
Yes.
After running away, automatically, when the evening comes, the darkness comes, automatically he will come
back.
And by coming back, he shall not have eaten anything.
Yes.
The stomach is empty. So he will automatically come at home to look for food, and you will get him. So you will tell him, thank
you so much, Bwana Murunga.
Yes.
Dear viewer, it has been a very interesting and enticing show. What kind of proverbs do you have in your community? What kind of diction or words do you use in different kind of scenarios and settings in your community? For example, you have got to know how do we use different kind of language of words, the choice of words in a homestead, in the marketplace, in the church, and what kind of people do you find in such places and what they are called. So I hope you have learned something, and please leave a comment down there on how your language varies from ours, or how similar we are. Because here at Know My Language, we believe that a language is the door to anyone's culture. It is the opening. That's where you enter and get to know a people, how they are and how they live their life. So please remember, until our next episode, remember, subscribe, like, share, and always leave a comment down there so that we know how to make this show, your show, even better. So until next time, we tell them bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.